156 there, we're going to be talking about, this whole week, we're going to be talking about fact and opinion. So, I know a couple of you from yesterday know a little bit about fact and opinion. You know the difference. Who was in my reading group yesterday? You guys, when you guys were in the reading group, so you guys know a little bit about fact and opinion, right? Well, we're going to all learn about that today. So what's that say on page 156? A fact is something that can be proved. An opinion is a person's thoughts or feelings about something. So an opinion often has signal words such as I think or I believe. So what you guys are going to do, we're going to write the definitions for both of these words. So in your notebook, go ahead and write fact, and underneath that write opinion. And I'll put the definitions up on the board, and you guys can copy those down. But we remember, a fact is something that can be proven, right? So we'll put that in our notebook so we can look back at that all week. What's that? You can't write in those textbooks. So a fact is something that can be proven. Opinion, what did we say that was? Who can help me out? Isaac? It's in the book if you need help.
Opinion is something's feelings and
Someone's feelings or thoughts?
yeah, and there's a compound word something.
Perfect. That's one of your spelling words, right? That's good. You caught that. Someone's thoughts or feelings about a subject. So, subject in this case, anybody know what I mean when I put subject up there? Luke?
Like math or science?
Well, usually yes, but in this case, someone's thoughts or feelings about a subject, that could just mean anything. Whatever we're talking about, that's the subject. So anytime you have a thought or a feeling about something, whatever that something is, that's the subject. That's what we're talking about there. All right. Oh yeah, I'm sorry about that. So you see that little chart there that they put on 156? A fact and opinion chart there?
That's both on one sentence.
What's that?
That's both on one sentence.
No, these are two different definitions. So this is one, and this is one. So you can put those underneath each other if you need to. So if you ever want to decide if a statement is a fact or an opinion, you're going to ask yourself, can this be proven, first of all? And you're going to ask yourself, is this what someone feels but cannot prove? So if I said something like, Mrs. Jones teaches at Gilson Brown, is that a fact or an opinion? You can help me out there. Audrey? It's a fact? What do you think? Wait, what'd you say, fact or opinion? Fact, so why do you think it's a fact?
Because she does teach at Gilson Brown.
She does, but because we can prove it, right? Because what do we say a fact was? Something that you can prove. So anyone could show up at Gilson Brown and see that Mrs. Jones teaches here, right? So we know that's a fact.
Like your supervisor.
Right, she came and saw Mrs. Jones teach, so she knows that's a fact, right?
Or, well, no, she's not there. She'll send to his face.
Well, she's still teaching here, so that would still be a fact. But what about a sentence like, peanut butter is the best food in the whole world? What would that be, Alex?
Opinion.
Opinion, why do you think?
Because it's someone's thoughts or feelings.
Right, can you prove it, that peanut butter is the best food in the whole world? Can't prove that, can you? So, that's definitely an opinion. Very good. All right, there's a little story there on page 157 that we're going to go through, and there's right under the blue box on page 157. Everybody see that little chart?
Yeah,
There's a fact in the fact box, but the opinion box is blank, right? Okay, so we're going to go over this story.
Mr. Jackson,
Yes.
what is that word?
Which one?
At the Phillies.
About. That's about. So we're going to go over the story. I'm going to ask for a volunteer to read it, and then we're going to talk about what's facts and what's opinions in that, okay? So, Katie, would you mind reading that as loud as you can, or just teacher voice here so everyone can hear you, okay?
I think baseball has an interesting history in the
Mid-1800s.
1800s. First baseball teams were formed in the United States. At first, there were no rules for how to play. Alexander Cartwright wrote the first set of rules for baseball. Getting written rules was the best thing to happen to the game. Players everywhere could then play the game the same way.
Very good. So what is in that fact box in that story? Luke?
In the
Mid-1800s.
the first baseball teams were formed.
Okay, so why do we think that's a fact? In the mid-1800s, the first baseball teams were formed. Jacoby?
Because
It can be proven, right? There might be written history of that, so it might be written down somewhere when it happened. That's something that we know happened and it can be proven, right? So what is an opinion that is stated in that article, in that little story we just read right there? Can anyone find an opinion that's written in there? You got one that's in this little blue box story about baseball? Remember what our clue words were? Let's write these up here too. Our clue words for opinion. Are I think and I believe. Because if we ever hear someone say I think or I believe, does that give us a pretty good clue that it might be their thoughts or feelings? Right. So can anyone find, using those clue words we just went over, can anyone find an opinion that's in that little story? Audrey, can you find one? What do you think it would be?
I think.
Yeah.
I think baseball has an interesting history.
I think baseball has an interesting history, right. Because can we prove that baseball has an interesting history? No, it's kind of, we can prove that they have a history, but we can't prove that it's interesting, right? Because some people might think it's interesting and some people might think it's boring, right? So, if you want to go ahead and write that opinion down in your notebook, you can write opinion and then the very first sentence in that story. I think baseball has an interesting history.
Baseball
It's the first, just underneath your definitions. So you're going to write opinion.